What are your biggest flaws?
Narcissists are unable to acknowledge or accept any flaws in themselves. This lack of self-awareness hinders their personal growth and ability to work on improving themselves.
What do you admire most about me?
Narcissists only see others in relation to themselves and what others can do for them. They have a self-centered perspective that focuses on their own needs and desires rather than genuinely appreciating and valuing others for who they are.
How have you hurt the people closest to you?
Narcissists lack empathy and don't take responsibility for the pain they cause others. Their self-centeredness blinds them to the emotional needs and well-being of those around them, leading to hurtful behaviors and a lack of accountability.
When did you make your biggest mistake?
Narcissists have a grandiose sense of self and believe they are superior, flawless beings. This inflated self-image prevents them from recognizing their own mistakes or acknowledging moments of failure as they perceive themselves as above such errors.
How do your actions affect others?
Narcissists are oblivious to how their behaviors impact those around them. Their self-absorption prevents them from truly understanding or caring about the consequences their actions have on the emotions, well-being, and relationships of others.
What do you regret most in your life?
Narcissists do not believe they have anything to regret as they feel entitled to behave however they want. Their sense of entitlement and self-importance leads them to believe that their actions are justified and that they should not have any regrets for their behavior.
How could you have handled certain situations better?
Narcissists do not believe they handle situations poorly and refuse to acknowledge mistakes. They have a distorted view of themselves as always right and superior, making it difficult for them to reflect on their actions and consider alternative, more effective approaches.
How will you apologize for your behavior?
Genuine apologies require empathy, remorse, and accountability, which narcissists do not possess. Their lack of empathy and unwillingness to take responsibility for their actions make it unlikely for them to offer a sincere and meaningful apology.
What are you insecure about?
Narcissists desperately try to project an image of themselves as perfect, confident, and superior. However, beneath this facade, they often harbor deep-seated insecurities and fears of being exposed or perceived as inadequate.
Do you ever feel guilty?
Narcissists struggle with experiencing mature emotions like guilt and shame. Their self-centered nature and lack of empathy make it difficult for them to genuinely feel remorse or guilt for the pain they cause others.
How do you plan to improve yourself?
Narcissists believe they are already the best and have no need for self-improvement. Their inflated self-perception and sense of superiority prevent them from recognizing any need for personal growth or development.
What is your role in your failed relationships?
Narcissists blame others for relational breakdowns and take no personal responsibility. They often shift the blame onto their partners or others involved, refusing to acknowledge their own role in the deterioration of the relationship.
How do you make time for self-reflection?
Narcissists avoid introspection because it could reveal flaws, insecurities, and the emotional turmoil within. They fear facing their own vulnerabilities and shortcomings, leading them to actively avoid or deflect any form of self-reflection.
What are your biggest fears?
Narcissists fear losing their facade of perfection, superiority, and constant external validation. Beneath their self-assured exterior, they are deeply afraid of being exposed as imperfect or not living up to their inflated self-image.
Do you care how your behavior affects your children?
Narcissistic parents are often oblivious or indifferent to how their actions impact their kids. They prioritize their own needs and desires above those of their children, resulting in emotional neglect or manipulation that can have long-lasting effects on their children's well-being.
Why do you need so much admiration from others?
Narcissists require constant admiration and attention to fill their inner void. Their sense of self-worth relies heavily on external validation and praise, as they lack a genuine internal sense of self-acceptance and self-esteem.
How will you support others when they need you?
Narcissists struggle to be there for people emotionally because of a lack of empathy. They have difficulty connecting with others' emotions and providing the necessary support and understanding during times of need.
Do you ever feel lonely?
Narcissists may feel alone but are too self-absorbed to connect that loneliness to their own behavior. Their preoccupation with their own needs and desires often blinds them to the loneliness they may experience due to their inability to form deep and meaningful connections with others.
How do you handle criticism?
Narcissists become enraged and lash out when criticized because it threatens their inflated self-image. They have fragile egos and view criticism as a personal attack, leading them to respond defensively or aggressively to protect their sense of superiority.
How do you show appreciation to people who help you?
Narcissists feel entitled to others' time and assistance, making gratitude difficult. They often take for granted the help and support they receive, as they believe it is owed to them, rather than seeing it as a gesture deserving of appreciation.
Why do you brag so much?
Bragging helps narcissists regulate their self-esteem and get the praise and admiration they crave. By showcasing their accomplishments or exaggerating their achievements, they seek validation and attention from others to validate their self-worth.
Why must you control everything?
Narcissists fear losing control and being vulnerable, so they micromanage people and situations. Their need for control stems from a deep-seated fear of being at the mercy of others or having their flaws and vulnerabilities exposed.
How do you validate others' needs and wants?
Narcissists lack empathy and interest in anyone's needs except their own. They struggle to genuinely understand or prioritize the needs and wants of others, as their self-centered focus keeps them preoccupied with their own desires.
Why do you interrupt people so often?
Narcissists dominate conversations to keep the focus on themselves and their needs. Their constant need for attention and validation drives them to interrupt others, redirecting the conversation back to themselves and maintaining their sense of superiority.
How do you feel when others succeed?
Narcissists feel threatened by others' success and often try to sabotage or downplay it. Others' achievements can trigger feelings of envy and inadequacy in narcissists, as it challenges their perception of being exceptional and superior.
What have you sacrificed for your family?
Narcissists tend to be selfish and make sacrifices only when they directly benefit. Their self-centered nature often prevents them from making genuine sacrifices or prioritizing the needs of their family members unless it aligns with their own interests or desires.
Why don't you have any lifelong friend?
Narcissists' inability to connect emotionally and sustain genuine relationships over time leaves them friendless. Their self-centeredness, lack of empathy, and inability to maintain reciprocal connections hinder their ability to form and maintain long-lasting friendships.
Why do people pull away from you?
People eventually pull away from narcissists due to the narcissist's extreme self-centeredness and lack of reciprocity. The one-sided nature of their relationships and the constant focus on their own needs and desires drive others to distance themselves from narcissists.
Why do you lash out at loved ones?
The fragility beneath their grandiose facade makes narcissists prone to sudden rages if they feel rejected or slighted. Their fear of being exposed as flawed or inadequate leads to defensive and aggressive reactions when they perceive any form of criticism or rejection.
Why do you struggle to be accountable?
Narcissists' refusal to take accountability stems from their core sense of entitlement and distorted self-view. They believe they are above the need to be accountable and instead shift blame onto others, protecting their self-image of superiority.